Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. Good to see you again.
How have we
See
been?
you again.
Yes, so because
Very
I'm
Fine.
well,
not seeing
thank
you
you. How
guys.
have you been too?
Good to see your names because I'm not seeing your faces. The last time I didn't see the people I was talking to. I always like to see my people. Can we have the camera come up briefly? Then you can take it down
Okay.
back. Let me even see the faces. Oh, good afternoon, Aisha. I can see. You can actually put off your camera. I just wanted to see the faces so that I will get. I just saying good to see me when you in camera. Me, I cannot see you. You know, you can see me. It's only one person that I show. I understand. I understand you can't own your camera. No wahala. Let's get Hi, Bumi. Good afternoon. Good to see you. I can't hear you. I can see your mouth move. I can't hear you. You are muted. But it's okay. You can put off your camera. I just wanted to see our faces before we start. Okay. Delete, I like that flash. Pam. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So, how's the academy been so far? I hope we are having fun and learning. Okay, so welcome to class today.
Except that you
So
have
today we proceed.
strategies for.
Sorry?
I said, yes, we are having fun. I said that you are still owing us. You promised to share the strategies
The
to
recording. Okay, so I found out that yes. So I found out that sharing recording was not part of the deal.
Wow.
Do you get? So yes. So I'd left that for when we come to class. So I have not done it actually because work has crazy. I actually just resumed back for maternity leave. So work is choking me, one. Then two, but I'm made to understand that we're not sharing recordings actually. It's for our own use. The recordings for our own use. So that's why. If not, I would have still pushed myself to share. Okay, so let's get today's class started. Today we're looking at employee life cycle management. So I'm going to skip all the introduction. We already know who I am. So we'll just go straight to business. So we've been looking at, human resource. This human resource management academy, right? We're trying to sharpen our skills. We're trying to learn, unlearn, and relearn. So that's why we're looking at employee life cycle management. Because as HR people, we constantly manage the employee life cycle. So today, our course objective is to provide a comprehensive understanding of the employee life cycle stages, to equip us with practical strategies to effectively manage employees at each stage of the cycle, because we're managing them at each stage of the cycle, to enhance participants' ability to align ALC practices with organizational goals and employee needs, to foster critical thinking and collaboration. So we're going to be having case studies, discussions, and assessments in this module. So let's get it rolling. So of course, our learning outcome by the end of this module, we should be able to identify the stages of employee lifecycle management. We actually know them, maybe kind of refresher or unlearn some things that we think we know about them. Be able to apply best practice for attracting, onboarding, developing, training, and offboarding employees, because we onboard them, whether we like it or not. At some point, we're going to offboard them, even if it's not you that is the HR, even if the HR has jackpot from the deal, another HR will offboard them. It's normal course. So when analyze case to solve real world HR challenges, of course, at the end of this class, you should be able to analyze and find the solution to challenges when you come across them. Demonstrate knowledge of key HR theories related to employee lifecycle management. So every concept, every model has a theory backing it up. Like a proof that it does work or it does exist, or a proof why you need to have it. So it's always good to know one or two theories that back up this. Okay, so content. We're already spoken about our content. So employee life cycle, I like to always drop this thing to get us thinking. Employee life cycle, it is not a destination, it is a journey. When we say employee life cycle, it has a beginning, it's an ongoing process, basically. So let's leave that at the back of our mind. So employee life cycle, like I did say in my quote, is the journey an employee takes with an organization, from initial contract as a potential recruit, through recruitment, onboarding, development, retention, and finally separation, like I did say, you're going to have to onboard at some stage. Each stage represents a unique opportunity and challenge for HR managers. It is an opportunity for us to leave a lasting impression. It's an opportunity, not about ourselves, but about ourselves is part of it, but of course, about people and business generally. As HR professionals, we are not just managing processes, we are shaping experiences that can make or break an employee's journey with our organization, and even this bad experience from work. I'm not saying the HR is supposed to be perfect, like 100% perfect, but how we do our human resource management actually matters a great. So a recent Gallup research indicates that organizations with a strong understanding of the employee life cycle have 41% lower absenteeism and 24% lower turnover rates in high turnover organizations or even industries. For example, in tech, in healthcare, I think there's turnover in real estate a lot. You will discover that if your employee life cycle is handled very well, you will not be on the high side of the organization that people leave a lot. People leave organizations a lot within the industry, right? But there are some organizations within the industry that people would rather stay. So that's what employee life cycle does for us. So what is employee life cycle? It represents the stages, like I've said, an employee goes through during the tenure at an organization. The employee life cycle refers to the different stages an employee goes through during their time in an organization. It includes 6 main stages, like I've mentioned, attraction, from when you're trying to source for them and when they're interested in applying for your role. Attraction, recruitment, onboarding, development, retention, and of course, separation. Separation is all for them. There are 6 key stages that exist in employee life cycle model. Each stage highlights critical HR intervention that enhances experience and organizational outcome. So at every stage, it's how you practice it or how you understand it. It enhances the experience people are going to have with your organization. It enhances, in fact, it makes people decide whether they want to work with your organization. For you, the HR, it provides a roadmap for teams to support employees effectively. So you are able to know how team members support each other so that they can deliver on their role. It also encourages proactive and holistic workforce management. When you're managing your employee life cycle, you're able to project. That's when you're able to know what they need, what needs to be done, how it has to be done. In the employee life cycle management, that's when you're able to identify that, okay, maybe your workforce is not engaged enough. From there, you're able to know what's wrong somewhere and you're able to know where to fix it. But there are also some additional stages worth noting. We'll take a look on the next video. So what I'm saying basically is there are 6 stages, right? But beyond recruitment to offboarding, there are also some additional stages that we'll look at in module 2. That's going to be tomorrow. So the 6 stages of employee life cycle model. 1, attraction, of course. That's the very second the potential applicant is exposed to your employer brand. The very first time you are putting your vacancy out and somebody is interested in it and wants to work for your organization and apply, so that's attractive the person. Because there are some vacancies that we'll see and we'll work up past. I, for one, there are some vacancies I will I know go waka pass Aburo. You know. So attraction, then recruitment. The recruitment process, of course, we know is the process and experience of how someone goes from applicant to employee. From when the person applies, the person gets the interview, so you're offering the person offer letter. That's recruitment process. Onboarding is, of course, after you have decided you are settling for the person. You know, where onboarding is helping employees understand and blend in with your corporate culture. So telling them this is how we do it here at onboarding. Then, of course, when you have onboarded them, you need to retain them. So retention is keeping employees around and satisfied. I should have underlined that word. Around and satisfied with relevant reward and recognition. Because we see that sometimes roles are constantly being opened, you're constantly filling the role. So it's something to look at when employees are not satisfied. You just use an organization as a stopgap until they get something better. So it is important that for retention, we must devise strategies to keep employees satisfied with our reward and recognition. Reward and recognition is very important. Sometimes the reward might not be motivating you without you recognizing what they put after I'm paying you do your job kind of attitude. It will also help also retain our talent. Career development, of course, helping employees get better in their roles through variety of initiative, training, um, sponsorship for maybe personal development. You know, career development, basically, career development initiative is part of the employee life cycle management and separation. That's the whole body. The process of what happens when an employee inevitably decides to move on. Because regardless of how you manage workforce, at some point employees will decide to move on for whatever reason. Either because the organization is not good enough, because they found something better, or because they want to change industry. There's a myriad of reasons why there's going to be upward. Am I talking too fast? Hello.
Yes.
You know, I
No.
like to know that we're here.
I think your pace is quite fast.
I'm talking too fast.
Yes, you're
Yes,
not
please.
I
explaining like
actually
in
speak fast,
detail.
so that's why I asked. Sorry?
You're not explaining like in detail.
We'll get to where we were explaining detail.
Okay,
I'm just
okay,
running you through the stages.
okay.
Mm. So I like to ask sometimes because I actually speak fast. Okay, so now the details we are looking for. Let's examine each stage and the responsibility of HR professional. Like I've run you through the stages. We start from attraction, right? So attraction, overview. This is the initial stage where potential employees learn about the company and its culture. The goal is to attract qualified candidates who align with company values and goals. So you're putting out your advert, of course, you're putting out your person specification. Why are you putting out person specification for the group? Because you're looking for somebody that aligns your values and your goals in your organization. If not, if we're not looking for people that align with company's values and goals, then there will be no need for us to put person specification. There will be no need for us to do interviews. We'll just employ the very first person that applies. So when we go through selection process, because we're trying to find a fit, basically. Then what's our responsibility as HR in attraction? The HR professionals are responsible for creating a strong employer brand, promoting the company's culture, benefits and opportunities, and ensuring the company's presence on various job platforms. So ideally, and some organizations are actually not leveraging on, social media marketing for their recruitment. Ideally, you should make noise on social media. Let people know you, so that when you're putting your advert out there, people resonate with your brand. They apply. But sometimes there are some organizations that will see the application, like I did say, we just work up fast, but we don't even know them. And nobody wants to enter one chance. Do you understand? So our responsibility as HR people in managing the employee life cycle stage, we start from attraction, from when we decide that we need to employ somebody and we're putting out our advert. That's where life cycle management, employee life cycle management starts. So it starts from there, and it is important that we work with our team. Of course, there are teams that will be in charge of your social media. It's just a tool that you could leverage on. Promoting employer brand is actually an instrument to make our work easier in recruitment, really. So our responsibility as HR in the stages of employee lifecycle management is to create a strong employer brand. We know some employers make it difficult for you to create employer brand. We know. We know, but as much as possible, try to create a strong employer brand, promote the company's culture, benefits and opportunities, ensuring the company's presence on various job platforms, Indeed, LinkedIn, Jobberman, a whole lot of them like that. Glassdoor, plenty. Just let your company feature so that your brand, your employer brand, at least when people are wondering, which organization is this? Oh, they remember they've seen it on a couple of platforms. You also give some sort of legitimacy to your organization. There are some vacancies that you will just see people come and this is what I said about this organization before. But that's because they are not out there. If your organization is out there, so it gives people the knowledge that, okay, I've seen this organization somewhere, So the impact and a strong employer brand the impact is that a strong employer brand can attract high quality candidates, reducing the time and resources spent on recruitment process. It makes your work easier. It's not every Tom, Dick, and Harry that's going to apply, And that's why some brands, if you notice, they don't even put their name. Like if I'm recruiting, I'm not going to put the name of my organization where I recruit. Because trust me, in 1 hour, some brands, if they put their name, what am I saying 1 hour? In 30 minutes, you can have 1 million CVs. Do you get? So it's both ways. If your employer brand is strong, we'll get to the point where you have to start being deliberate so that you attract quality talent. Because everybody would want to work for you. And before you know it, you're reviewing CV like the only thing you do in HR is to review CV. So that's what a strong employer brand does for you in recruitment. It reduces your job basically. So quality people begin to apply. Then the stage 2, that's the recruitment process. After you have attracted, you've had CVs, and now you want to proceed. So this stage involves, so this is overview of recruitment now. It involves identifying potential candidates, conducting interviews, and selecting the most suitable candidates for the job. So what's your responsibility as HR? HR professionals are responsible for creating job descriptions, screening resumes, conducting interviews, and making hiring decisions. Then what's the impact of recruitment strategy? Effective recruitment ensures that the right people are hired, which can lead to increased productivity and reduced turnover. When you hire the right people, of course, your company is going to do well, the performance is going to improve. The company is going to be more productive because the people are delivering on their job. Remember, in human resource management, the business objectives, right, is what we cascade into KPIs. And that's what we're bringing these people to come and execute. So if you have cascaded your business objective to individual KPIs, and you don't have the capable hand to execute those indicators, those small steps that you have broken the strategy into for everybody to perform their own duty so that we can meet the overall business objective, productivity is going to drop. So what the impact of a good recruitment strategy does for us is it ensures that we hire the right people so that life is easy for everybody in the organization. Your work is easier. Nobody's thinking, oh, this HR does not know anything. Because when people leave constantly or continuously, they just think you are the one is wrong hire. Sometimes it's not wrong hire. It could be the organization. So that's very important. Then that takes us to onboarding. from when we have attracted, we have recruited, we need to initiate them. I call it initiation. We need to initiate them into the group, So onboarding is the process of integrating new hires into the organization. The process of helping them to learn and get used to the organization. It's just like you have a guest and take your guest, you prepare your guest room for your guest. Of course, your guest will not know where the guest room is if you don't show your guest a room. You cannot, your guests will not enter your kitchen and go and carry food if you have not shown your guests that this is your meal. If you want your guests to enter your kitchen, or you set the table for your guests, something like that. That's what onboarding is. So basically introducing them around, letting them know what happens where and how it's being done, getting them used to their team members and the people they're working with, and how things run in the organization. So what is our responsibility in onboarding? As HR professionals, we're responsible for providing new hires with necessary tools, resources, and training to perform their job effectively. So you have recruited somebody, the person has resumed. Your job is to make sure that the person settles in what the person needs to deliver on the job. Because we have brought this person to come and execute tasks. I must provide what is needed for this person to execute the task accordingly. So what's the impact of a well-structured onboarding? Like I always tell people, me, I'm big on onboarding. The way you onboard me will determine from onboarding, I decide whether I am leaving after my probation. And I'm sure I'm not the only one like that. I don't know if any of you is like that. Like if you join a new organization, from onboarding, you will know whether you are venture. So a well-structured onboarding process can increase job satisfaction, productivity, and retention. So it's good to give people a good experience really, at onboarding. Let them feel at home. Let them not just resume and think, oh, I've entered one chance space. I'm not saying pretend, but at least let's make people feel at home and let them settle into their role effectively. So onboarding, your onboarding techniques or onboarding program has to be solid as HR. As solid as you can get from your management. Let people, it's like toasting them to stay. Let people be wowed with your onboarding experience or onboarding strategy. Really. It's also a retention plan. I did mention in the previous one. Development. Okay, so you have brought me to your organization. I came with my own skill and my own knowledge, right? There should be plan for me to go to learn more things or for me to grow. I should not be stagnant because I've come to work for you guys. So the stage involves providing employees with opportunity for growth and development. That's what development stage at employee lifecycle means. So what is our responsibility as HR? As HR professionals, we're responsible for identifying training needs, providing learning opportunities, and facilitating career development. So if that is not part of our employee lifecycle management, trust me, we will recruit style. Because people won't be satisfied and people will always look out for opportunities. So the moment your neighbor or your competitor is able to offer something better, they're just buying there. I don't know if I've shared this in the class. So I did join an organization, it's a tech company, cloud computing firm, for that matter. They're supposed to be very agile. But there were issues. The owner of the business didn't believe in certain things, and the jackpot was mad. So and that was in 2021. Yes, it's easy to think it was the tech jackpot wave, right? But by the time I joined and I did my HR audit, I discovered that it was not the jackpot wave that was making these guys. I resumed the HR at jackpot and onboarded myself, right? And I met like 7 positions to be filled. The 3 managers on ground were serving their notice period. It was that bad. So it was normal for you to wonder that what's going on here. Because they were not leaving to go to Canada, to go to the US, to go to Germany, to Spain. They were leaving to go to smaller organizations within the same Lekki axis. So there was a problem. And what was the problem? It was that there were no opportunities for learning. There was no career development. And in tech, you have to constantly learn. So it's very important that we pay attention to that. When we are done recruiting and onboarding people, it's important that we pay attention to their development. We don't really need to spend so much on development. For me, what I even did was like the magic it brought. It was as simple as buying Udemy courses. As simple as that. But when people don't have anything, you don't really need to do elaborate training or have some big name KPMG, PwC company training for your guys. No. Something as simple as giving them access to LMS would do a big thing. And it will even help you. Because when you realize that maybe I'm going to use an admin, for example, the admin doesn't know how to do his or her job well. What training have you given to the admin? None. And you just end up talking and talking and talking and talking. You just have my brain over. The development actually even makes your people management easier because you're equipping them with the skills they need to deliver on the job. So, okay, everyone's spoken about impact and cost of expansion. So employee development can lead to increased job satisfaction, productivity, and retention. That's just the impact of when you have a development plan in place for your people. Hello, are we still here?
Yes, ma.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Juliet, are we here? Anyways, so retention. So retention involves keeping talented employees within the organization. So all this, it's just like a husband trying to please the wife not to pack load and go. You have brought them. So what's the plan? What do you have for them to make them stay? If not, you can just have people after their probation, if possible, say probation, they'll just get out of the organization. So retention involves keeping talented employees within the organization. Attention at the word talented, because as much as you have onboarded people, if they're not talented and they're not doing their job, and you will see eventually have to ask them to go. But the talented employees, you want to make sure they stay with you. You want to make sure they deliver on the company goals and objectives, so that at least the company can be profitable. For business continuity, you need to ensure that your talented employees are retained. For business continuity, very important. This, again, I'm going to refer to an organization I work for. Okay, so it's a cloud computing firm. Not a lot of people are into cloud computing yet. The is a new niche within the tech industry. It was, let me say it is. It was a new niche within tech industries at that time. For business continuity, it was not good for talent to just be living like that because trade secrets, ideas they have gained, they're taking it to your competitors that are also new in the field and helping your competitors to beat you, really. So it's very important that we try to keep our talents, we try to retain them so that we're not recruiting each time and they're not living with the knowledge or the business secret to our competitors and helping our competitors to be better and compete better and even beat us in the market. That's very important. So what's our responsibility in HR in retention at the retention stage? As HR professionals, we are responsible for creating a positive work environment, providing competitive compensation and benefits, and recognizing employee achievements. I wanted to add class where somebody said, as HR, I'm also an employee. How am I providing competitive compensation and benefits? Okay. So as HR, okay, how do we think we can provide competitive compensation and benefit as HR people? Because not be you get company now. Why am I saying you should provide competitive compensation and benefit? Let me hear your thoughts. So that part, a lot of people always have a problem with. So what do you think? Do you think it is our responsibility to provide competitive compensation and benefit and recognition for employee achievement? What's your thoughts? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes,
I
ma'am,
didn't
we
get your
can.
question.
hear you very well.
I think there was a
Okay.
network glitch
So
there.
at the retention stage, right? At the retention stage, our responsibility as HR people is to create a positive work environment, that provides what I want you to pay attention to. Providing competitive compensation. One of my classes, people have asked me that how their own problem to provide. Remember, HR is also an employee. They employ me too now. So am I supposed to provide competitive compensation and benefit to my colleagues? I'm saying, what's your thought on that? What do you think? Do you think we're responsible for providing competitive compensation and benefits to the people we have recruited?
While it's our responsibility as HR professionals to provide good package, good benefits package, either monetary or non-monetary, it's up to the management. Me, I always say it. It's up to the management to decide because we can only advise them. We can only advise. You can tell them this is what is applicable according to industry trends. This is
Our
what
role
is
is advisory.
Yes, we can only advise. It still boils down to the management to take action.
Thank you. So does anyone have any other? Why is it my job to provide compensation and benefits for my colleagues? They are my colleagues, so even though they forget that I'm also an employee, but it's okay. So does anyone want to say something else? Okay, it's only Juliet that agrees that.
Okay, just like Juliet said, I think what I'll just say is we have to press and press and press. She has said it, or when she said the management has to. But I think what we can do differently is knowing how to or when to pitch further to the management and giving them reasons why they should look into your suggestion as well.
Okay, so thank you. I wanted to get your thought on that because I know a lot of people always like, they employed me too now. How am I supposed to provide compensation? Okay, so our responsibility as HR in our retention plan is to provide competitive compensation and benefit. How do we do that? We do that by industry survey. Again, industry surveys can be expensive depending on the size of your organization and the philosophy of your organization. So when I say industry survey, we want to find out what our competitors are paying. We should have an idea. Then use that to create our own retention strategy. That way we are providing a competitive compensation. For example, for example, okay, Coca-Cola and Pepsi. Those two companies, if I check what Coca-Cola is paying or how they are paying their people, I can find what I can do better. It doesn't necessarily have to involve extra cost, but I can find what I can do better to encourage people to stay with us more at Pepsi. So that's just basically where we come in providing competitive competition and benefits. We should constantly research, constantly know, constantly be aware what the industry we play in what they are paying. You know, you don't have to know all, but it's good to know a few of what other people, other players in the same industry with you are doing in their retention strategy, so that you can see what you can add or what you can improve on for you to create a better retention strategy in terms of compensation and benefits, recognizing your employees. So that's why we are responsible for that. So what's the impact of creating this positive environment, competitive compensation, recognition and reward? The impact is that it gives us high retention rates. It can save the company money on recruitment and training and maintain a stable, experienced workforce. When people keep leaving, I got to a point where I didn't have capable hands to manage the server. Why? Because even capable hands keep leaving, So it can be stressful when people, they live with their constantly. And of course, the new people, it's not everybody that can hit the ground running, right? The new people, you still have to take them through the ropes, help them to understand how things are done. And before you know it, manpower, man, hour is lost, time is wasted, and stuff like that. So retention, then that takes us to separation. So separation is the final stage of the employee life cycle, and it can occur due to retirement, resignation, and termination. So like I did say, no matter the experience, no matter how fantastic the experience we have created in an organization is, there comes a time where somebody has to bow out. So it's either the person is retired, the person is resigning, or the person is being terminated. So that's what happens at separation or budgeting. No matter how fantastic the organization is, somebody has to leave at some point. So that's that. And we have a responsibility at that point. Now, as HR professionals, we are responsible for conducting exit interviews, managing onboarding processes, and ensuring a smooth transition. So why do we even an advocate of conducting stay interviews, not just exit interviews? So you conduct stay interviews for you to sample opinions, for you to know if people are willing to stay with your organization more. Now, it's dicey because some people can start, they won't tell you the truth, but there's a way around this thing. So stay interview for me is also important, even though it's more like a new, not entirely new. A lot of HR have not bought into it, but it's very important to do stay interviews because it helps you to plan, it helps you to project in your work life, work cycle management. It helps you to project, it helps you to know that, oh, this guy don't leave, then you're planning not to sack the person. Because, and again, that's why people don't really speak up at stay interviews, because they feel that, okay, you're asking to know whether they want to quit, so they can sack them. No. Why you are conducting stay interviews is for you to know if the company is doing well and if people are really motivated to stay. You're conducting the same interview for you to know how to plan your employee retention strategy, basically. Then at exit interviews, yes, the person, now, before anybody resigns, I always tell people, before anybody resigns, the person has already disconnected psychologically. Before I can put pen to paper that I'm resigning, that means I've started looking for a job before, so psychologically, the person has resigned. I read sometime last year that in the US, some companies no longer require you to give them 1 month notice. I buy into that. If you leave me, there's no need to do 1 month notice. It's not fight. That 1 month is like you're forcing the person to stay. Do you get? So I would rather ask the person in a nice way, would you kindly work for so and so period? If the person can still stay the 1 month, no problems. But if the person gladly, you'll be surprised that people will gladly tell you that this 1 month safe, if you can let them do 1 week. So the moment somebody resigns, really, the person has already left the organization. I feel the 1 month notice that we are forcing people to give safe can even damage them. I once had a situation where the whole cloud platform went down. Now, it could be coincidental or man-made, didn't know. Somebody was meant to, and that happened. We had to beg him to stay, also restore the cloud platform, and for him to train new person. Now, this guy had resigned and he was forced to stay the 1 month in lieu of notice. I feel when you force people to stay the 1 month in lieu of notice, you're even giving them time to sabotage you. I'm still trying. I'm just saying what me I'm thinking and what I feel. I'm still trying to find a way around it. So what I had come up with was so there's a knowledge management platform I used to create. So constantly you're updating it such that, because come to think of it, when the inevitabilities of life come, for example, the person drops dead today, I'm going to get the job done now. So why am I forcing the person to stay 1 month? That's by the way, Sha. I'm just putting that there. My own thought around it. That's by the way. So we conduct exit interviews for us to know why the person is leaving, so that we can know how to correct it and what we can do better. You know. Then in managing offboarding, of course, managing offboarding procedures and ensuring smooth transitions. You're trying to be sure that the person hands over properly. You're checking what the person has to company properties that the person has to drop, what the company owes the person, you know, things like that, so that nobody's aggrieved, everybody is settled. Not like some organizations when people leave, it's like fights. They will told the person's salary. It's not fight. You win some, you lose some. That's life. So what does this when you have a good separation strategy, or when you manage separation properly, what impact does it have? You know, when it's properly managed, can provide valuable feedback, can help you maintain positive relationship with former employees and protect the company's reputation. There are organizations that their former employees are their marketers. Like the former employees, they will carry their matter on their head like gala. Like they're not model, but because of the experience they've had there, they will market the company for you. In fact, when they see your vacancy, they will tell people, please apply. I want to work today. You know, so that's what how you manage separation. That's what it does for you. But when you do it like fight, the next time somebody wants to go this, those people, when you want to leave, they don't need to fight. They will owe you. They will this, you know. So how we manage offboarding, the separation stage is very important as well, because it helps us to create ambassadors. It's very important that we create brand ambassadors for our organization. I know sometimes management makes some toxic decisions, you know, and you're wondering, is it fight? It's not fight now. This guy came and this guy wants to go. But that's most common in with OMBs anyways. Multinationals and some established business, they know what is at stake for them, so they will respect themselves. So in conclusion, HR professionals, excuse me, play a crucial role at every stage of the employee life cycle. Our responsibility is directly impact the employee experience, productivity, and the overall success of the organization. How we handle employee life cycle management is very critical to business success and business continuity. If we don't handle it well, we can land the business in trouble. Not even on that Twitter drag is film. Before you know it, the employer brand is being dragged, and sometimes it's not a funny experience. Okay, so why is ALC important? Why is employee life cycle important? Okay, I should have known. No, I want to hear from you guys. From what we have been saying, we have said why we should. We have looked at the stages of employee lifecycle management. We understand it. So why do we think it's important to have an employee lifecycle management within an organization? Hello.
Hello, please.
Hi.
I didn't question. It was breaking. Please, can you repeat the question?
Wow. But you got what I said. It's not the question you didn't get, right? I said, from all we have been saying, right? We have
Yes.
been explaining the stages of employee lifecycle management. We now understand our responsibilities. We know the impact of a good employee lifecycle management. I'm saying, so why do we think it's important to have an employee lifecycle management? Do we think employee lifecycle management is actually important in the life of an organization?
Yes,
Why is it
very well.
important?
I strongly believe in that. I strongly believe in that. Yes, some employees can be silly with the way they handle maybe layoff or resignation.
Yes,
But nevertheless, you just have to adopt some level of emotional
in their
intelligence
silliness.
when you are parting with them. Like you said, I always tell my colleagues, I always tell them there's a life outside this organization, and you and I can meet
Exactly, don't
anywhere.
burn
I might need you
bridges.
tomorrow. Even if we don't need each other tomorrow, I don't think it is necessary that we are passing each other and you are squeezing your face or I will not greet you.
Exactly.
We don't need to keep a
Even if
cordial
you're not
relationship, but at
passing the
least when I
bridge
see you
again,
tomorrow,
shall
I
let
should be able
another
to say
person
hello
pass
and
it.
hi to you.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly. There's a colleague that we noticed that she was not motivated to do the job anymore. So I just told myself before she would drop her sack letter, we need to let her go.
Mm.
And her response to
I
the
like that. Before
letter
they will
was
sack
she was so
people.
happy to even leave. And she was not yes, I had to.
Sometimes it's a strategic move, sometimes, especially if it's a strategic role. Actually, I'm not hearing you. Or is it from my side? Hello, can you hear me?
Overhauling of the system. She was the
Is
only
that
person we
from
left
me?
from old staff, and she was giving some energy. My boss, let's let this person go. She said no. Let's just last. The person gave
Do
us
you know how many years I've stayed with this
resignation letter and did not
organization?
even pay 1 month in lieu. Did not even pay exactly. The girl. I told her let's learn from this person. Allow this girl to. If you see her.
Those people that used to feel like ancient of days in the organization, ancestors. Oh boy.
Was the one telling me that even after she goes, she will still call me. Oh, there's something she wants to do. I said, no problem.
Mm,
Just let's do your
yes.
work and let's live in peace. So some people do a lot of, but
Mm.
you would not. You would just try to manage the situation.
Thank you, Aisha. Even though your line was breaking, is it from me?
I think
It's because I
maybe it
already
was
know
my
what you're talking
network.
about.
Sorry. I guess it's my network.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
The network is even funny today. Yeah, so some people that like to feel like ancestors in the organization, it's better we treat them like ancestors. uh okay. So moving on in Bayu Babe's voice. Okay, so why is ELC important? One, employee lifecycle management is important for strategic alignment. To practice with business goals, boost organizational performance. You know, if your employee lifecycle management is well aligned, is aligned with business objectives, it's going to really boost your organizational performance. For example, if one of your mission, if one of your vision is to become industry player, your employee lifecycle management, of course, would have to be very good, It will have to involve you maintaining each stage to the best ability, and of course, advising management. If management does not allow you, it's really nothing you can do. But if the management has a vision and a mission, they plan to become industry player, they will buy into your strategic moves so that you can align your employee lifecycle management with the overall business objective. Employee satisfaction. It is very important that we have employee lifecycle management because we benefit from it. You know, the benefit of addressing employees' needs at different stages improves morale and boosts productivity. Then cost management, that one is very, very important because when your employee lifecycle management is well managed, the organization allows you to put everything in place as required. It may not be 100% fantastic, but at least to some reasonable degree. There are organizations that they stay on the level that they can stay. As much as you want to create a fantastic package, it's also important to know that can your organization afford it? So your organization can decide where they want to stay in terms of package. They can be 50 percentile, they can be 60, there's percentages where organizations decide to stay because of what they can afford. So it's very important. These are all the things that you are going to decide within your employee life cycle plan. Cost management. How will you manage costs if you have a good employee lifecycle management? It's going to reduce the amount of money you spend on recruitment, training, and turnover costs. Because whether we like it or not, some of us use free job boards, right? But in recruitment, sometimes you spend money because you need to use money to advertise your role. Sometimes you even need to pay consultants to help you recruit, especially if you're recruiting for management. The people you bring on board, you're going to spend money to train them, no matter how little it is. Turnover cost, you're going to pay employees at separation. Either you pay them their severance pay, there's something to pay at separation, you know. So when employee life cycle is managed properly, you're able to reduce the of um cost of employee or employee management. Okay, so let's discuss. From what we have been saying, have you had any experience where HR practices positively or negatively impacted your work journey? Like how the HR does. Have you ever had any experience where it's impacted you, either positively or negatively? You know, there are some people that I know they don't want to see HR because of the experience they've had with HR. There are some people that the HR like, oh no. So have you had any experience because of your work, because of your career journey, where an HR practice, either the way the HR has practiced or what the HR has done, that has affected you positively or negatively? Let's discuss. Am I the only one talking to myself?
You're
You know,
not
I like us
once.
to talk so that
Good evening.
I like us to talk so that I know that we're vibing.
Oh,
Okay, so I will talk from the place of my
okay. Okay, let me allow her go.
um.
Let me allow
So
you
in
go.
okay,
Don't mind
okay.
me, I'm not using the
So
raise hand option because we're just three. If not, I would have done raise hand so that we know who's talking first and who's talking
Yeah, I
next.
know the
So
last time
after
I used
Juliet,
the
Aisha
razor
is
was
coming.
like no one told me. That's why I stopped using it.
Yeah, because the class is not large, I just feel it's a small class. So after Juliet, thank you.
okay, so last year I was opportune to attend one of Mr. Dr. Oluyemi's total rewards and compensation class. Before now, at my
I was
place
waiting
of
for
work.
you to say Mr. Oluyemi and tell you no, doctor.
So before now, everybody just takes loan, what have you, including the HR. And the thing is so frustrating. We are unable to track it. So people are now misusing misusing the access that they have to loan. This one will just come. Sometimes when I'm preparing payroll, somebody is already on negative. The person is not having anything to go home with. So
Can you imagine?
that's that. Dr. Oluyemi opened my eyes to know that there is a standard. In fact, he said
Yes, you can have a cap.
that I should download immediately. Said I should download labor law from Google Play Store. And I should go and check it that this is not just him talking. I should go and check it. Then I checked and I saw that it's actually a 1/3. Like deduction should not exceed. But I'm like, what is going on? My boss he's the one that just implemented the whole thing. He said the
Yes,
cap
and what
is
they can
40.
pay back.
You get so the thing is just tiring. So now I went back to work. Say, sir, I wanted to implement what I just newbie. Sir, I learned this. So this is what I heard. This is what I heard. Can we just, do this? So that some employees will have something at the end of the day to go home. Because most especially the drivers, then you give them money to get fuel. We have issues where they are not buying. Hello, can you hear me?
In the month.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. I don't know about others.
Okay. Then they are unable to buy the number of liters you want them to buy. They will shortchange the company. So many issues we've been having. We are tired of giving queries. So that's the negative part. Because now he has left. Now I'm the one having to manage that part. But I'm struggling with it. I can't find a balance because they are now used to that aspect of we can always collect loan. We cannot even maintain that 33.33%. In fact, some people have collected to the point of 85, 90, 94%. So that's the negative part. I don't have any positives for now. I'm serious. Thank you.
Wow, that's a good one. That's a good one. Thank you, Juliet. Okay, so who wants to go? Okay, Aisha is going next.
Okay, so in
Aisha is
my
going next.
one of my former employments, I think one of the people that were like a major motivation for me was my HR. Beyond the mentality that HRs can be wicked, before I also started this career, people have the mentality that HRs are just wicked people, they don't like you and all that. But I met a different HR. I mean, she even
I don't know why they think we're wicked. They don't
exactly.
know what we're dealing
So that lady, I think her attitude to
with.
handling issues at work and handling employee, even despite the fact that the managements were rigid, she was very good at managing the excesses of the company. Yes, and it really motivated me to stay there until the time I decided to leave. And then when I left and then
Wow, even
joined
my network.
the
Aisha is
next
breaking bad.
organization. Okay, can any other person hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Then when I joined another organization, the HR I also met there was very good at employee welfare. It was like Shuasha and the MD were always fighting that we need to do this for employees, though. We need to. So I'm like, oh, okay. I think beyond the mentality that HRs can be wicked, some people can be different. And the handing over to me, I learned some positive things from her. In fact, when we did like end of year review, some people were saying I was more wicked than the lady that left. And she was the one that taught me, oh. So I think I did some things. I'm more rigid on some rules, yes, because I know, do you know how people can be when they begin to take some things for granted, just like somebody who has not paid a loan is coming back to ask you for more money, and then some people will just take the little things you want to do for granted. So I began to put in some rigid practices. So I would say at least I've met like two different HR that made me believe that it is not the general mentality that people have.
And I also learned one key thing from one of the HR. And in addition to the level of patience I have, when you are having management meetings, you just have to be very, very patient and put your emotional intelligence into play, because they would argue with you, they will fight with you, but you can't be frowning to the management. You have to just create a balance between the management and the employees. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so Ibumi, do you have any experience to share with us?
Okay, ma.
Don't mind me.
I don't really
Sorry,
have
you
so
prefer
much
to
to
be
call
called
about.
Olubumi, right? No,
Yes.
I'm calling. Sorry, because it just occurred to me that your name is Olubumi.
Anyone, anyone is fine. So I don't really have much HR experience like that. But I think one thing that I've now come to realize, if I used to think HR people were very mean. I mean, there was a place I worked, that was like in 2021. The HR people were just very mean. In fact, that was what actually sparked my curiosity to transition into HR. That
You want to
why
become a
should
child?
people be mean to their fellow human beings? Yeah, like that was just like the foundation of it
Mm.
all. Then I now came into it, like started attending webinars, met some HR, and I actually noticed that it was just the personality
You now
of those
realize that it's not all of them
HR
that are witchcraft.
professionals, not like, yeah, so not not like a general perspective. So I think that has like changed my experience, and then I now even get to have better understanding on how to relate with people, and also so it's a good
So
one so
that's part
far.
of why I wanted us to talk about. You see, some HR practices are really acting up now. Okay, so I was saying that the experience that we've had, that's why I wanted us to talk about it. Whatever experience we have had in the course of our practice actually shapes how we also practice. That's why I wanted us to talk about if there's any experience that has impacted us positively or negatively. I'm not bragging. Everywhere I have worked, I build disciples, like they follow me everywhere. Everywhere I have worked. In fact, they call me to give me gist, like, the new HR. I'm like, don't look for me in the new HR, you know. So it's very important how we practice. That's also very important. Okay, so theories, right? I'm a psychologist, thinking I'm best. Conviction. It helps you to realize that we're not just saying these things. Yeah, things that have been tested and proven, So when I talk, I like to back it with theories. And theories are not what I will go in depth. So I'm just putting it out there. So you could read about the theories, like I always say. But Ensberg's two-factor theory is related to employee life cycle management. It's two-factor theory. That's the hygiene, motivator, and application of it. What I'll just. So the hygiene factor prevents satisfaction. That is salary, working condition. Those are hygiene factors. His theory are in two. There's the hygiene factor and there's motivator. So it's hygiene factor. If you study the theory, you realize that if you apply Ensberg's hygiene factor in salary and working condition, it will help you in managing employee life cycle management. So this is like an assignment. Read about it, and you could Google and see how to apply it. The motivator enhances satisfaction. That is, of course, when people are recognized, there's professional growth, personal growth. They'll be motivated to do more, they'll be motivated to stay with your organization. So the application, of course, is to use the motivators to engage employees during the development and retention stage. That's how to apply it. We'll look at it in module 2. We'll look at it in module 2. But basically, just read about it so that when I'm looking at the theories and its application in module 2, you can flow better with it. So Ensberg has a two-factor theory that is applicable to employee life cycle management. Basically. Then, of course, this one is very common. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is very common. So I like to put some other theories that are not very common, even though it's worthy to also mention it. Employees' needs, e.g., satisfaction, esteem, self-actualization, must be addressed progressively. So if you also carry about Maslow's theory and you find out to apply it to your employee life cycle management, you're going to find that it's helpful because you know that people have need for self-esteem, need for self-actualization. So you want to create strategies, workplace management strategies to help them achieve this. Because the moment they meet one need, they are pushing to achieve the other need. Safety, for example, your work environment should be safe. You show concern about your people's safety. If they satisfy safety, they want their self-esteem, nobody should come and disrespect them at all. If that is satisfied, they want their self-actualization. That's where your training and all that comes. Because it is in self-development, growth, learning. That's when they are able to do self-actualization. Satisfaction with their job, learning will combine to give them self-actualization because they have a self that they want to actualize. They have where they view themselves. So when you give them an enabling environment, you're able to give them that. So that must be addressed in your employee life cycle management. They are very tough spoken about the application. So you ensure that employees feeling during onboarding, they have the opportunity for achievement in later stages. So at onboarding, how you apply Maslow's theory, look at that, is at onboarding, you want to make sure that you're helping them to actualize the stages. At onboarding, you want to let them know that this place is not toxic, a place where you can feel at home. Beyond it's not being toxic, the place where they'll be respected. Beyond them being respected, the place where they can go to their self-actualization and on and on and on like that. So this is an entire course entirely, but it's worthy for us to mention it for you to know that you can actually study these theories and apply them to your practices. Okay, please. So what is the primary objective of onboarding? Is it to complete paperwork? Is it to integrate new hires into the organization? organization? Is it to reduce screening costs? Why do we do onboarding?
Okay,
So why do we do
number one
onboarding?
is B.
Yes, to integrate new hires into organization. Do we have any different opinion? Maybe you don't agree. Maybe it's just to complete paperwork. Okay, so which stage of the employee life cycle focuses on employee development and career growth? A, attraction, B, development, C, offboarding. This is just to test that we grab. Yellow. Which of the ELC stage or which stage of the ELC focuses on employee development and career growth? Okay, that's the chart.
Development.
Okay, yes,
Develop-
develop. Thank you. Thank you.
Development. Development. That's
Yes,
B.
B, yes. Okay, so good. I just needed to be sure that we realize and know that. Okay, that's very good. Okay, so feedback. Share your thoughts on today's model. What do you think? What do you think it is? So far, this model. And so,
Okay, can anyone?
yellow. Sorry.
So is it that we are
So,
done
what are your
today?
thoughts on the model?
Based on what we
It's
have
important that we have a
today,
feedback.
can anyone?
Yes.
Okay, based on what we've done today, it
Sorry.
has been quite engaging. Hello, can anyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, we can.
It has been an engaging session so far for me. But if there's anything that we can also
I can't
include
hear you.
to make
I
it
can't hear
further,
you.
for example, the theories, just like we talk about the theories that are related to um ELC. What other things can we can we maybe start examples that also that we can also my network.
Okay, so you were saying what we needed to do differently. My network is really out. Does anyone still saying something?
I don't know if Aisha is done.
Aisha, are you done? The network is really crazy.
Yes, but I can hear you very well.
Aisha was trying to say something that we needed to do differently, then she dropped off. So beyond what Aisha is saying, do we have any other thing to say?
Okay, for me
So
today,
Juliet, you were asking if that's all for today, right? Yes, that's all for module one. Because in module two, we're going to be looking at case studies and we're going to be doing more extensive. We're going to be looking at broader perspective of all we have said today. So if tomorrow's class passes 2 hours, don't complain. But we'll try not to pass 2 hours. Try. We'll try. So maybe we'll just make the case studies to be assignments. There was even an assignment that I said you guys could drop on the platform, but not, you didn't drop. I posted what I was meant to post now. So the whole idea was for you to create an employee engagement strategy. That was what we said. I said you could drop it, but it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so if there are no other thoughts or suggestions
No,
for
can
improvement,
anyone
sorry, it's like Aisha is back. Are you saying something? Oof, they dropped off again.
it's a network.
I know the network is. It's either getting bad.
Hopefully, it will be better tomorrow.
I think she really wants to say something. Okay, yes. Okay, so maybe Aisha, if she has even dropped off, wanted to say she could leave whatever she wanted to say. I'll put it on the chat group. She could leave whatever she wanted to say on the chat group. Okay, so Juliet, are we good? Do you have any other thing apart from what you asked? Or can we call it a wrap?
I'm good.
Well, we'll
It's
prepare
fine.
for tomorrow. Thank you. Okay, so from me, it is bye bye. Enjoy tomorrow and see you tomorrow.
All right, bye.
Thank you, ma.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Well done.